Australia when you were 18 for your first proper acting job, really.
Yep.
That's a big move for...
Huge move, and you know one in Australia. I knew one person, so I ended up moving in with my agent initially,
right.
and then stayed with her for a few months until I met some friends, and then moved in with someone else. But I knew no one. I was, this friendless kid. Again, I moved over for Zoo Family, which was a kids show, which was going to finish in 6 months, and I thought I'll do that, and then I'll go back to New Zealand. And then that finished, and I got a telly movie, I think. And then that finished, and then Flying Doctors came along.
Yeah, right. And so then you were stuck.
And I was still here. But I kept thinking all the way through, they're going to work it out.
Yes.
At some point, they're going to work out that I'm so faking it and I'm not good at it.
But isn't that a great example of going, just fake it till you make it? You know, just go along, go with it. And that's an unbelievable beginning.
It's an incredible beginning.
It's probably good you were in New Zealand too, because if you were here, and where there would have been a lot more, people wanting to get into acting, you might have felt more desperate for those roles.
Probably, but I've got to say back then, because that was in the 80s, and we were talking about the 80s this morning, about the decadent 80s, and there was so much money, and there was so much television, and there was a lot of work around. I mean, it was a time of lots of money, and I'm really lucky because back then there were a multitude of opportunities, and I don't think there were as many people wanting to be famous now because of reality television and because everyone wants to be famous and everyone wants to get out there. Back then it was a craft, which is why I felt out of place, because I thought it's a craft that I haven't studied. I don't deserve to be here. Whereas now I think everyone goes, I'm going to be famous. They all want their own reality.
It's a strange thing though, isn't it? Saying I just want to be famous. You speak to some people and they're, I just want to get into this or that. It's like, but what do you want to specifically do in there?
Yeah, exactly.
Just to be
famous.
I
don't know, I just want to be famous.
Yeah, it's a really odd thing because I'm sure at times not all it's cracked up to be either.
No, it's got its moments. I mean, the paparazzi thing's pretty horrible when you get followed on
Do you get followed much on?
I've been followed to Tahiti, and we were followed to Thailand, and had people hiding in bushes taking photos of you in a swimsuit lying by a pool, and then they put the headlines, not struggling to lose the weight or whatever, and it's hurtful. It's more when they target your children. Yeah, right. It's more when it's kind of like, how is it that a man can hide behind a tree and take photos of my son in a swimsuit on a beach, and he's okay with it because he's supposedly a paparazzi, yet if it was some creepy guy taking photos and putting them on the internet, he'd be accused of being a pedophile. It's like, where's the line between that? Yeah. What's the difference between some guy taking photos because he's supposedly a member of the press and he's making money off it, yet he's still putting photos of my child in swimsuit on the internet, which is considered pedophilia in any other language. I don't get it.
Such an invasion.
Well, so take photos of me, fine. If you're going to take photos of me looking terrible, I don't care. But when I keep seeing photos of celebrities' children, that really bugs me. It's like they haven't asked for this. Leave them out of it. It's not fair.
Because a lot of people are have the opinion of if you're going to be in entertainment, then your whole life is on display.
Yeah, you know what? And I accept that if I go out in public and people want to take photos, fine. Sometimes it can be an intrusion, like when you're sad at an airport and you're saying goodbye to someone and you're crying and someone's there with a mobile phone taking photos. It's kind of like, it's a bit insensitive. Yeah. But again, for me, it's more about my child because it's not his choice. It was my choice. And my husband's even to a certain extent because he chose to marry me as an adult. Yeah. But not when it comes to my children. I know. It's not, should be off limits.
It should be off limits.
And they should be made to sign a release like we do. Yeah. If you're going to profit from someone's photographs, you should be forced to make them sign a release form.
I reckon it's going to, because something's going to have to change, don't you reckon? Because it feels like it's getting really out of hand.
Well, it's getting out of hand when people have carte blanche. They can just go wherever. They can take photos and, if they can take photos in your living room or take photos of you in your backyard.
They can do that?
Well, I'm not sure if they can. Well, it's like what happened with Kate. Princess Kate. And when they were in a private estate, but he was supposedly in a tree taking a photo of her topless, and yet she was supposedly in a private residence. Yeah, okay. That I kind of don't understand that. Yeah, right. And how they get away with that.